Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brett Tippie Podcast. I'm Brett Tippie, and I'm here with my buddy Reece Wallace, and we are here on Vancouver Island, and we're going to sit down for a podcast. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Nice.
Right on. Well, nice house you got here.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah, it looks good.
The old A-frame.
Yeah, like old ski bum style.
Yeah, straight up.
But looks a lot nicer. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I've known Reece for a long time, and he's a very talented freerider originally from Alberta, but from BC. I met him in Whistler, and we've ridden together, and I've interviewed him for years when I worked for Pink Bike, and we're gonna have a conversation about biking.
Yeah, let's do it.
You like bikes?
I love bikes.
Yeah, catching air.
Yeah. What else is there?
Yeah, carving turns, dropping steeps, I guess.
Yes.
all that together. Now you're a former Rampager, former Slopestyle rider.
Yep.
Done a lot of great edits over the years, and but you're originally from Alberta, I understand.
Yeah, I grew up in Calgary. God's country, as the people there like to call it.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up in South Calgary and was kind of always just looking west, like where are the mountains? I need to be out there, and. Yeah, it was cool. It's like its own small little scene out there. It's definitely separated from out here. So it was a cool place to grow up.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Just east of the Rocky Mountains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us about your first bike. When did you start riding? How old were you?
I think I was about 3 years old. I started riding, and my dad got me a little Huffy, and I would just like ride down the street. It was like before push bikes when you just would crash. So yeah, no, it was sweet. It definitely had the bug for riding since a young age. My buddies now would like rip around the neighborhood and like riding off curbs, and I mean, shit, not much has changed.
Yeah, pretty much, eh? So when did you have your first mountain bike?
2004, I think, and it was like a Nakamura FS 9000.
Whoa, not the Nakamura.
Yeah.
9000.
That's pretty better than the previous 8000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was dope. I got it from my mom. Got me it from Sport Check. I think it was like $600, and had like the RSTs with the fork boots and like still had rim brakes and everything back then, and I just loved it. Like put it in my room at night and would stare at it, and you know how it was when you're young and new bikes.
I still do that.
Yeah,
I
there
bring
you
them
go.
in the house.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So who did you ride with back in the days, in the Alberta days?
Yeah, I grew up riding with pretty like-minded fellows. My buddy Matt Montadon, he's like a legend on the bike, and
I remember when he won Air Apprentice.
yeah, he's a freak. Like I think he got like third at Goat Style on a borrowed bike. It's like 2010. It was the year the whale tail tipped over from a windstorm and it fell on Casey Groves before the event started. Then they rebuilt the first whale tail. Matt 360X upped out of it, tacoed his wheel, grabbed a spectator's bike, and then finished his run and got the podium. So
What?
it was like he still is just a beast on a bike. Whatever you put him on, he's just a freak. So
Yeah.
he pushed me growing up tons.
I hate and love people like that.
Yeah. It's like a terrible influence, but he's so good at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And who else did you ride with back in those days?
I also rode with my buddy named Glenn Bradley. He rode for the Calgary Cycle downhill racing team. So I was definitely kind of like the runt of the group. Like I didn't race, and I'd go to the races and hike the last jump on the track on my hardtail and get sketchy while the kids on their fancy V10s and stuff are shredding. Kind of always the dirt bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, same deal. He was a really gnarly dude, and yeah, I think just scaring myself just from day one, it just sunk into me. I was like, I love doing this.
Yeah. I love and hate that feeling. Speaking of love, hate.
For sure.
Yeah, the butterflies and the...
I know, it's funny. It still gets me. I was guinea pigging the other day, and I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this. But then you do it, and you're like, yeah.
Wow. Where's my cape?
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned you rode with guys like Reg Mullet too back in the day.
Yeah, Reg Mullet, absolute legend. Like I was saying to Tippy before we started the show, he's like Alberta's Tippy. So yeah, he definitely inspired me for more of the big bike stuff. When I was a kid, I looked up to Reg so much. I think it's the world record for most downhill in 24 hours.
Most vertical.
Yeah, most vertical on Mount 7.
Yeah.
Psychosis.
Yeah.
So
that's nuts.
Yeah, it's I raced that when I was 15. I had to lie about my age and say I was 16 to get into it, but I raced that from the top,
Down dead dog.
Down dead dog.
So steep.
And I was like too scared to take a practice run. So I just drop in first time cold turkey. I crashed like 3 or 4 times in my race run.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying you were looking west and then you went west. When did you finally come out west and where did you go?
Yeah, right after high school, I saved like $2,000, and my girlfriend at the time and now wife, we loaded up my little Toyota Corolla, put my bike in the back, and $2,000 to our name, and we moved to Whistler. So
Wow.
yeah, sent it.
Wow. So what did you do for a job when you got there?
I mean, like classic Whistler. I got there and just handing out resumes everywhere. It was like, hire me. That was like back in the day when people didn't need staff. But yeah, I worked at Whistler Creekside Market in the deli. Did that for a couple of years. You know, cutting cold cuts, eating cheese, and like I got to bring home the day olds for free at the end, and that kept my bike career going for like 5 years.
Smart.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had a few jobs there though.
Yeah, definitely. I worked at like a greenhouse in Pemberton, which really sucked. I had to drive there every day. And then I worked at Rexall in the village, like the pharmacy, also sucked. And then I worked at the Air Dome for like 3 years, which was sick. Shout out Brian Finestone, old bike park manager, gave me a job there, and like we would literally just like ride all day and get paid.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the dream.
That's how you improve your skills,
Straight
right?
up, yeah.
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 Amazing.
Yeah, definitely
that's
helped.
cool. So when did you get sponsored, or when did you get your first free bike?
I think it's 2000, the end of the summer of 2009. I was riding the river jumps, and Jerbuck, who's a guy who worked at Chromag at the time, was hanging out and shooting some pictures. He's like, man, you got to come down to Chromag and talk with the guys. It'd be sick to get you on one of our hardtails, like the OG Monk. And went down to the shop, and yeah, they hooked me up with this like super beefy, heavy steel bike with like gussets all over it and shit.
Yeah.
But I was like over the moon, gave me my first free bike, and yeah, I love that thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At some point too, you did university. You went to SFU.
Yeah, I studied communications from like 2010 to 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like cool. I was doing like Slopestyle and university at the same time, so it was like a lot of missing class to ride, but it definitely like made me realize I was like, okay, this is not what I want to do. I don't want a job in communications, and that's like what really pushed me to want to ride professionally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're doing Slopestyle from 2010, 2017, and I saw you in the top 10 numerous times.
Yeah.
You're competing against the best dudes
For sure.
out there. And what was your best result?
Yeah, I think I got third at like Jamie Goldman's UDUG event. I can't remember the year. It was like probably like 2015 or something. And then I had like a few other top 10s, like Colorado Freeride Fest and the FEES series in France, AT Showdown, a couple podiums there. But yeah, I was like stoked if I could make top 10. I just like never was quite there with like the tail whip and like bar spin combos and stuff. So, but I mean, those were the days I was riding with Brandon like every day. So it really helped. It
Rubs off on you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's more like you didn't want to drop in after he went.
Yeah. How do you follow that,
Yeah,
right?
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you see it and it's like cybernetic training and it gets imprinted in your brain and makes you better just being around Brandon.
For sure. Yeah. No.
And so what was Brandon like back then, like to hang out and ride with?
Yeah, I mean, it's Brandon. He's a different dude for sure. He's just like, I think anyone who's like the best at their sport is like, I don't want to say odd because he's not odd, but he's pretty shy and quiet guy. So, but yeah, we used to ride like the river jumps all the time and then come back to my house and watch Trailer Park Boys. And so it was cool to like, yeah, I don't know. I was definitely like fanboying pretty hard when we first started riding. But then like, yeah,
like everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy watching him. Like he's the GOAT. Like he's the best rider there's ever been. So yeah, he's a freak.
What I learned about Brandon after finally getting to really know him is that he's really funny, actually.
For sure.
Like he's got some great dad jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And dirty jokes, but
yeah.
like he's
got like a real dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
But he's like really intelligent dude.
Oh, he is. Yeah. I know.
So,
he tells me this one joke. Hey Tippy, did you hear about the explosion at the cheese factory? I'm like, no. He goes, there's nothing left but debris.
oh my god.
And I said to him, I go, did you hear about the world's dumbest criminal? They asked him to blow up a car and he burnt his lips in the tailpipe. Then we went back and forth, and the Red Bull camera guys were like,
they're just loving it.
yeah, it was a full tennis game.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then we kept going, and then I threw in an extra joke, and he's like, oh, you got me. You beat me. And I'm like, I didn't know it was a competition. I thought it was a jam, not a competition.
You got a few years practice on him.
Yeah, totally. Experience, right?
No, he's got some good jokes. He's a funny dude.
Yeah. Well, you dug for Brandon at Rampage in 2014.
Yeah. I was lucky enough that Brandon included me on his dig team. And that at that point I was like getting pretty over riding slopestyle, but I was like, oh, I think I need to keep doing it to do for my career. But I went to Rampage with Brandon and dug for him, and I was like, this is what I need to do. Like, this is awesome. I feel way more comfortable on a downhill bike. Like, it's just such a cool venue. You can build whatever you want. And yeah, I was hooked.
That's
After
cool.
that, I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah. Do you know who my dig team was when I did Rampage?
Oh God. I have no idea.
Nobody.
Just you. Yeah, no digging.
There was no digging.
Just riding down the hill.
Kicked a few like piles of dirt out of the way, and just kind of looked over the edge and went, yeah, that looks good.
That's insane. That's so...
It was silly. Yeah. So after you dug for Semenuk in 2014, you were invited to your first Rampage.
I was.
And there was a lot of guys there. You said there's like, what, almost 40 riders back then?
I think
for,
so.
For a few years there.
Yeah. They had like the qualifying, and I can't remember the exact number, but I think there was like 20 to 30 dudes in qualify. I remember it took like all day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was hectic. It was a busy mountain.
But this was your first time at Rampage, but it was the second year at that venue. So all the good lines were taken.
For sure.
It's not really fair for a second, for your first year, because you can't get a possible winning line or a line that's going to score as well as someone who's picked out and cherry picked the terrain.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a story of my life with Rampage. I've done it twice, and second year venues both of the times. So you're kind of like all the best real estate's taken, and understandably everyone is like really protective of their lines and stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I've kind of always thought about it. Let's say an art competition, and they give everyone a blank canvas, but they give you a canvas that's been painted on already. Yeah. And they're like, okay, make us a masterpiece. Yeah. And you're like, well, there's art all over it already. Right. So that's kind of how I experienced it, but it's you can make it happen, but it's a lot tougher to find a competitive line, like all the obvious and good terrain spoken for.
Yeah. And there's an ethos and an ideology of riding your own line, not using anyone else's features, but for sure, you can't help it because the mountain's only so big and you got to cross each other, especially when there's like that many riders. Yeah. Sometimes there's deals made where you can pay someone off to use a something or a landing or use that, right? Yeah, and those are kind of deals, but then, at the same time, it's a competition and you're buddies and you don't want to step on anyone's toes, but at the same time, you want to do well. Totally. So you have to get down the mountain. Yeah. It's kind of a real I know thing to deal with.
It's kind of like, it's funny, like my experience is kind of like no friends at Rampage. Like, and I totally get it because it's the biggest event of the year and everyone wants to do really well. So you really have to respect other people's work and realize like, oh, they built that last year. It took a week and they did the craziest thing they've ever done in their life on it. Like, obviously they don't want to share it. Yeah. But it does make it's a tough duality because it makes it really like, it's pretty unfair if you show up and you have like, it's really tough to find a line. Yeah.
You want to get down safely, but you want to do well too.
Exactly. So, like, you can find a line. It's just tougher to find a good one. Yeah. So,
well, they have less riders now, and for a while there back then, they allowed machines on the hill and jackhammers.
I think it was like Jeremy Wytech had like I think it was digging for zinc, had like a big like pneumatic like rock saw or something. Yeah. We're like, what the fuck is going on? It's like up the mountain. We're just like using our pickaxe like chumps.
Yeah. Like hand tools.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So, after you did Rampage in 2015, you had to, try and get back into it, and you made a rad video 2018, and you did some like gnarly stuff on the shore.
Thanks. And
there was a big step down that you broke your back on. Yeah. And then you went back and you healed up. I don't know how much later it was, but then you went back and stomped it.
For sure.
And like, tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny. I was like, I built this stunt on the shore, and I wanted to flip no-hander it for the video. Yeah. And we weren't even filming that day, and I was wearing a back protector.
Who's we?
It was Mitch Chubby and I.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it was just Chubby. I was like, hey, Mitch, want to come guinea pig some stunts with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we cruise out there, and I like guinea pig the stunt with my back protector on. I was like, okay, it's all good. Like, it goes. I take the back protector off. Then I was like, oh, I'll flip it so I can try and flip no-hander it for the video. And I'm like, can you get an iPhoner? And then Chubby, he goes down, he hits it. I try and flip it. I miss the pop, under rotate, and like flip over to my back on a rock at the bottom. And yeah, broke my L2, L3. So yeah, it was stupid.
It looked gross.
I shouldn't have taken the back protector off. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
I was like, step down flips are like, oh, it's a warm up trick. Like it's chilling, and it just dumb. Lesson learned.
Yeah. And how much later was it when you went back and stomped it?
6 weeks later.
6 weeks later? You freak.
It was like, I mean, anytime someone says like breaking your back, like, I mean, you think of Mike Tyson's spinal, but it was pretty mellow in terms of like breaking your back. I just fractured, like it was like small fractures, so like wasn't displaced or anything. So at like 6 weeks, it was solid.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I got really lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first couple of weeks sucked.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that video was awesome, but it didn't get you into Rampage. It didn't work.
No, I was really like mentally prepared that year. I was like, hey, there's a new venue, like this is gonna be my shot. And I submitted it into the committee of guys, and I was like really hoping I get an invite, and it just didn't happen. So that was pretty devastating that year. I was pretty upset.
Yeah.
And Rampage came, and I went down and watched it, and I was like, oh, this is so sick, and it like made me want to do it even more. And it kind of just lit that fire under me again for the following winter. So to make another video.
Yeah. And that was Flight Path?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was, dug for like 2 months.
That was in Utah.
That was in Utah, in
Yeah.
Virgin.
Yeah.
So like went down there with a few buddies. We like rented a basement suite for a couple months. We dug for like 2 months, I think. And then we were
Wow.
supposed to start filming, and then like freak snowstorm came in. It snowed like 2 feet.
Snowstorm
Snowstorm.
in the desert.
In the desert. Actually snows like a decent amount there. But we're like, oh, it's a desert, it won't snow. So then I had to go home for like 6 weeks. And then I'm just, these like stunts that are brewing in my mind. I'm just like, oh God, I'm so scared to hit this.
There were some big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, went back in April and filmed it and got it done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was called Flight Path. You did a huge 360 in that.
Yeah.
Like 30, 35, 40 feet? How big was it?
Yeah, it's probably around 35 feet.
And you stomped it?
Yeah, it was a one and done.
Yeah. What's it like coming up to the edge like that and then cranking it and then not seeing where you're going? And like just for someone, I don't do. I've never even hit a 35 footer. I think the biggest I ever hit. Well, I hit some 30 footers, but I never landed them. But I landed some 25
Well, our
footers.
landings are a bit steeper, and we use shovels now. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, mine was raw.
Yeah.
Mine was raw, but I landed a 25 footer.
Yeah, that's insane.
But to do a 35 foot 360 to me is insane. What's it like when you like, because you've done 360s
For sure.
on all different size jumps, but to go off a drop
Yeah.
is got to be.
Yeah, that one was scary. It was like super blind. It was really plumb drop too. Like it was probably only like 10, 15 feet out. So you had to go so slow.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see the landing until you were already off the lip. So you're like going into it and you're just like riding off the drop, like blind. And you're like, okay, I got the right speed. Like right when you go off, But yeah, that one was scary. I remember, I think I did like 5 or 6 run-ins, and it was like I was filming with Matt Butterworth, who works for Anthill now, and it was like he was flying a drone and filming like a desert on sticks at the same time. So he's like multitasking like crazy, and it's windy and the batteries are about to die. And we're just like, oh my God, that's filming in a nutshell. And yeah, I like popped it and I just remember seeing red in front of my face like the whole way down, just like the cliff bands in front of me.
Yeah.
And then landing it, that's like, I just remember red. I like kind of blacked out a little bit. I was so scared, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy feeling. That one wasn't even like, I was stoked too. When after I did it, I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to do that again.
More relief.
Yeah.
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 And what about the other huge one? There was a flip you did that must have been,
Yeah.
I don't know, bigger than 40,
Yeah.
50?
I think it was like 60 or 70
60
feet.
or 70 feet. Like,
Length, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a big table we built, and flipping it was scary, but like guinea pigging it was the scariest thing. Like I went like 100+ feet the first time I guinea pigged it.
Oh man.
And like, thankfully the landing was probably like 80 feet tall.
Yeah.
But I landed like halfway down the landing, and yeah, that was a scary one.
Yeah. But you got it done.
For sure.
Yeah. And that video worked.
Yeah, that video worked. Got it.
So that got you into Rampage in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So there you are. You're back in Rampage. Less riders this time.
Yep. 20 guys.
But it's still a second-year venue.
For sure.
So all the lines are gone.
Yeah.
So how did you, like, like everyone goes up there and finds their lines, and then you're there for your second year. Everyone's their lines. There's still, the diplomacy and the politics of not stepping on other people's toes and using their lines and stuff. But you got to make your way down the mountain. So you went riders far left.
Correct.
For what I remember correctly.
Yeah, straight out of the start gate, I peeled like as far left. I like dropped down 90-degree turn to the left.
Yeah.
Try and find some new terrain.
Yeah.
So.
And then you sometimes when you go far to the left or to the right, you're out of view of the judges too, which is not good either.
Yeah.
But they hike the hill and they know what's going on, and they got the feed, so you're on camera.
They do a pretty good job.
But still, it's not ideal.
No, yeah, it was tough. I had like a pretty good, like right at the top, I had like a step down to a flat drop, which I was stoked on. But then like the middle part, there was just like, there wasn't really anything I could build. I kind of just had like a goat's path connecting my top part to the middle part.
Yeah.
Just like a skid trail, kind of probably like Rampage back in the day. It's
Yeah.
just like, we didn't even do anything. I just like rode down it.
Raw.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, my second part of the run I was stoked on, but yeah, that middle part, I'd asked, a couple guys, I was like, hey, would you mind if I like rebuilt this for you and I can hop in on it? And they weren't down, which I get. But, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like, I was stoked. Everything we built was new that year. Like, I didn't ride any existing features, which is cool.
Yeah. And at the bottom, you cut left, and then there was like a drop that I think I measured it at 52 feet.
It's at 52 pink pike feet.
No, it was. I had like a measurement, and it was 50. It was 50 plus.
Wow.
50 footer.
Yeah.
And you and Reed Boggs and Emil Johansson.
Yep.
Hit that.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you handed it.
I did. Yeah.
In the second run?
First run.
First run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to do it. Then I saw Emil do it, and I was like, oh, shit, I better do it.
I filmed you actually getting guinea pig in it when you guys were checking it out, and you're like, whew. And then I gave you some knuckles, and then you went and did it, and then you suied it, which was crazy again to me to be 50 feet up and then let go of the handlebars.
Utah's crazy though. It's like, yeah, you can build huge stuff out there, but the landings are so big. Like the landing is like 4 times taller than anything I've ever built in BC. Yeah. It's just so easy. Like it's not easy to build, but
it's right there.
It's right there, and it's a lot easier to build than out here.
Yeah.
So you can go huge in the desert.
That's true.
Yeah. And like, I mean, yeah, it's like a 50-foot drop with a landing was probably like 80 feet tall. So you had some wiggle room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, it's that time of the show for the RideWrap Crash of your life.
Crash of my life. Oh man, I've had some dumb crashes. Well, I already told you about the back-breaking one.
Yeah, that's probably one of the crashes of your life.
In 2013, I was filming for Eric Warnock's movie Alchemy.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, sick. First full length I'm going to be in. First clip off this line I built. I ditched off a boner log, put my foot out, and my knee bent backwards and like tore every ligament in my knee.
Oh,
and
gross.
that was definitely the worst. It took like a full year to recover. It sucked.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And when you looked at it, what did you think? Like, my leg doesn't bend that way?
Yeah, well, I just remember being like, I have an ostrich leg. Because I put the foot down and my knee just went backwards.
Whoa!
And just tore everything.
Yeah.
But I remember it's an emu leg. No bueno.
Yeah. Ostrich emu leg.
Yeah.
Wow. And how was your bike?
Bike was fine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You use RideWrap yourself, don't you?
I do, yeah. I got it on my Glory.
Yeah.
These guys just hooked it up this summer, so yeah, it's dope. Don't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah.
So
For like shuttling or crashing or just leaning against something or if
straight
it falls.
up. Yeah, it's nice with like the tailgate pads. I was always weary before because it kind of wrecks your paint.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about it.
Put it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So after your second Rampage, you headed into 2019 and decided, to do some real free riding, and You end up smoking your head real good at one point. You got a head injury there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like at Rampage, I hit my head right before finals, and I felt totally fine. Like no concussion symptoms. I spoke with like the paramedic, and I was like totally fine. And then fast forward 2 months later, I get this like crazy bad headache while I was riding, and the next morning I woke up, my ears were ringing, my vision was blurry, I couldn't stand, I would tip over, and long story short, I like pinched a nerve in like my cervical spine.
Yeah.
And it gives you like all the same symptoms as a concussion. So, and that took me like a year to recover from.
Gnarly.
Yeah. Super shitty.
Yeah. So not good for riding, not good for your career.
No.
But your
it was
sponsors
like,
were faithful and loyal?
Yeah, I mean, it also worked out really well because it was COVID and everything was canceled last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I couldn't ride from like December to May. And then, but I mean, everyone was in lockdown anyways, so I didn't really miss much. So, yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. And your sponsors were, well, because you'd been with Giant since 2015.
Yep.
And, you've proved yourself, about how much exposure you can get and how beneficial you are to the brand and whatnot.
Thanks.
So, it's nice to see that they were loyal to you.
No, they were awesome. And like, I needed some MRIs, and like Giant paid for a private MRI for me, and like Industry 9 paid for another private MRI.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, my sponsors have been really good to me.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
It's cool when you like, I mean, you know how it is, you make those like long lasting relationships, you make friends with the people at the brands.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
I've mostly had long-term sponsors.
Yeah.
Myself. Which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Speaking of sponsors, you just recently signed with Leatt.
Yeah, I did.
Which is good for the head because they make awesome helmets.
Yeah, big ups.
I think they're the best helmets.
Likewise.
Obviously.
I mean, like,
for sponsored, you're supposed to say that, but
yeah,
I think they are, really.
Buy Leatt and Leatt accessories.
And they look cool.
No, for sure. I love it. And it's cool, too, because, like, I mean, the founder, Dr. Chris Leatt?
Dr. Leatt?
Dr.
I just know him as Doctor.
The doctor.
Yeah.
He, he's a neurosurgeon, so he knows his stuff with brains.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty confidence inspiring.
Yeah. And I've been rocking a neck brace for the first time ever, and I haven't had a chance to stuff myself into the ground, and I don't test it, or I want to test it, but I feel more confident.
Totally.
Like I'm 52, and, I'm still doing Freeride Light.
For sure.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I've been wearing one off and on all for the last, like, 2 months.
Okay.
So I'm playing with it. It's, like, takes a little bit getting used to, but... yes, definitely confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
So
I don't even notice it. Once I'm riding, I don't even notice it.
No, for sure. It's like I can flip with it on. I don't feel it. I think the only thing it would really prevent is like front flipping because it stops that like cervical extension.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't do that many front flips anyway, so I just pop it off, do a front flip, put it back on.
I saw you front flip the final jump on A-Line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when people started calling me the front flip guy.
That was wild.
Yeah, opening day. It was sick. The dirt was all soft, and
you just said, I'm doing this.
yeah, why not? I mean, it's like, it is like opening day. The dirt's like, it's not like washboard yet, so if you crash, you won't completely die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I think Matt Dennison filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Nice. So, you're living on Vancouver Island
Yeah.
now, here, in this house, and you're moving to a new location. You bought 5 acres.
I did, yeah. I just sold this place about a month ago. And the wifey and I bought a place up on Mount Benson. That's like the local mountain here. And it's like 300 or 400 meter pedal to the trailhead. And
What?
It's got 5 acres. It's like really steep. So yeah, build a bunch of jumps. But the house is like basically a meth lab right now, how bad it is. It's like full Breaking Bad styles.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's like, yeah, we're gutting the whole place this winter, and it's gonna be a bit of a mission.
Looks like a meth lab.
I'm not even kidding. It's so bad.
I just got some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what they were laced with, but I've been tripping all day.
Oh my God. He's got one for everything.
Yeah. Actually, I'm sponsored by 510, so I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna build some jumps, a pump track, probably whatever you want on it.
For sure, yeah. Make some big jumps and have all the buddies over, and it'll be cool. It's kind of like the only thing the island's missing is like downhill bike jumps right now. Nanaimo has it's like the biggest dirt jump scene, might be in the world. It's crazy. We have like 4 crazy good dirt jump spots within 45 minutes in Nanaimo, and just not enough riders.
Yeah.
It's like we have all the spots, all the trails, not enough people to ride.
Wow.
So it's pretty insane scene here.
It looks like good dirt around here too.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot mellower because I used to live on the shore. It's a lot mellower here, but all the trails are kind of like John Deere. They're like faster, single tracky.
Yeah.
But it's super fun. Less jank.
Yeah. Talk to me about flight lessons. Not taught yourself, but you got taught to fly a plane.
I did. Yeah.
And have you got your pilot's license now?
I do. Yeah. I have my pilot's license. Been licensed for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the Instagram videos and you're flying here and bringing your bike.
For sure.
And flying over there and riding and stuff.
Totally. I mean, it's the perfect tool living on the island. I don't have to take the ferry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I fly up to Pemberton. I keep like a car in Pemberton for the summer and just leave it parked there, and I'll fly to Pemberton and then drive down to Whistler. And it's like, because I think Nanaimo to Whistler's like 5 or 6 hours or something like that with the boat.
Okay.
And it's like an hour if I fly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And what does gas cost for a plane?
It's about $40 an hour.
So
it's like $80 round trip.
That's way less than it would cost in your vehicle.
Yeah, it's way cheaper than taking the boat. That's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And how scary is it flying? Like, you gotta have confidence in yourself, and you can ride a bike fairly well. So I'm sure you could, work some controls.
For sure. I mean, probably pilots want you to think otherwise, but flying is really easy. They want to no, it's like super exclusive club. Like, no, it's flying's really easy. It's just like learning about like the air law and weather that are the challenging things for me, at least. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of just like riding a bike. It's like, you're doing berms, like turns in the sky, and yeah, it came pretty naturally to me.
I actually got an opportunity to fly a plane. I don't have my license or anything, but there's a fellow who worked in the oil industry, and he had his own private jet.
Wow. And
he flew me and Jeff Gulovich to Edmonton in his private jet.
Damn.
Quickly. Like, the jet was so fast from Vancouver to Edmonton. But then we took a prop plane from Edmonton to Hinton, where...
Oh, that little bike park thing.
Yeah, little bike park thing.
Yeah.
And we had a little downhill race, and I announced it, and Gelly hung out and was Gelly. And we flew faster from Vancouver to Edmonton than it took us to fly from Edmonton to Hinton in the prop plane.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But we're in the prop plane, and I think, was it Hurricks with us? And the pilot, I was in the what's the seat beside the pilot. He goes, "Hey, you want to fly the plane?" I'm like, "Sure. I don't not want to fly the plane." And he goes, "Hey, does anyone mind if Tippy flies the plane?" And they're like, No. He goes, "Yeah, they said it's fine." And I'm like, "All right." So I'm flying the plane. And what I didn't realize is that when you hit the controls, everything's kind of delayed a little bit.
Sure.
There's like a pause. You have to be very patient. And I was like wanting reaction, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, going down and then up and then correcting, and everything was like, nothing, and then it goes, and then I'd correct, and I'd overcorrect, and I'm all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, the guys in the back were like, feeling sick. Tippy!
Back control.
I was loving it. Oh. And then at one point, I finally learned to be patient, and then the pilot just picked up, like, a newspaper. And he's reading. He's not even looking.
Just chilling. You have control.
Yeah. And so I'm flying, and I'm like, hey, there's a storm coming up here. Look at this cloud. There's a dark cloud. And he's like, huh? Oh, yeah, just go like 11 o'clock and just go around that dark part. And he goes back to his newspaper. And I'm like, so I'm flying through gaps in the clouds and stuff. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, it's like, I got the bug for it just like biking. It's like, it's addicting. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And what plane do you fly?
I have a Cessna 170. So
you have your own plane?
I got my own plane.
Sick.
All the mountain bikers buy Tacomas, but instead of that, I bought an airplane. Same price, to be honest.
Yeah. Better fuel mileage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's sweet. It's a 1956. So she's an old girl.
Do they have names like boats?
Yeah, mine's Old Jenny.
Old Jenny.
Yeah, so it has a generator in it that like powers the electrical system, and it's died on me so many times.
What?
So yeah, I bought it from Saskatchewan, and I've had to fly it back home from Regina to here in Nanaimo in the winter.
Yeah.
And take off, radio dies. I'm like, oh, sweet. I fly into Regina, like call Regina Tower on my cell phone, like, can you hear me? I have a radio failure. Can we come in? And like make it to Regina. I get a new radio put in, take off from Regina. It's like minus 30, middle of winter. And take off from Regina and start flying west towards the Rockies. fuel starts leaking. Then oil starts leaking. And,
Jenny!
Yeah. And then we land. There's like fuel and oil all over the side of the plane, but we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, what can we do? Whatever. And then fill it up with oil, fill it up with fuel, keep flying, make it to the edge of the Rockies, and land for fuel to fill up one more time, take off. All the electrical system stops working. So no radio, no transponder. So that's like my GPS beacon, no lights, nothing. It's just like dead. And
When you're in the air.
when I'm in the air. So yeah, we had to fly home and my dad lives in Fernie, so we flew from southern Alberta all the way through the southern Rockies with no radio, no electronics, nothing, just like following the highway. We flew to Cranbrook, landed in Cranbrook, borrowed a handheld radio from a dude who we met, super nice guy, and flew all the way back home with just this like sketchy handheld radio.
That's nuts.
So it landed and just everything's broken on the plane. I was like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah. This ain't no Tacoma. Wow. And how do you carry your bike in there? Like, how many bikes can you carry?
Yeah, I take the back seats out and I can carry probably like 3 or 4 bikes, but I got to take the both wheels off.
Big back wheel off,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like a little bit of Tetris getting in there, but I mean, it's not that bad. I used to put the bike in the back of my Corolla and it's the same thing.
Yeah, totally. So where have you gone to go ride your bikes? Where have you flown to other than Pemberton?
Yeah, I've kept it pretty local because it's pretty much been COVID the whole time I've had my pilot's license.
Yeah.
So flown to Kamloops a few times, Squamish, Abbotsford, Pemberton. I've flown to Calgary a couple times to see family. But yeah, kept it pretty local. But yeah, once COVID chills out, definitely flying down to like Utah and Oregon and Cali and stuff like that.
Super cool.
So that's the plan. That's the dream, at least.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So I understand that you just built a course, a track up at Mount Washington.
I did.
For a video.
Yeah.
And it might be a first. You might hear it first here on the Bridge TV podcast. You're thinking about having an event.
Yeah,
perhaps
that's the dream.
In 2022.
Yeah, if all goes as well, definitely have like my own like free ride invitational. So that's the dream. So yeah, I'm trying to make it work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Claw's thinking about doing the same thing, but he's going to build his right in front of the lodge.
Yeah, so I'm building in Darren's old spot. So shout out Claw. He built like, it's cool. Like, so they flattened his course after his event, and I think it was 2012 or something. I can't remember when the last one was.
13.
Yeah.
2013. Yeah, somewhere around there.
So anyways, he flattened his event, and then there was like a bunch of like dirt that was just like on the ground, and we like, yeah, stacked it all up with some machines and built a bunch of stuff out of wood. And
What kind of stuff you got?
we've got right now like a boner log into like a big step down hip to a big jump, and then like I've got a corkscrew ladder bridge. I've got a discombobulator teeter totter. Like, you know all about, was that Dangerous Dan who did the discombobulator?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the stuff I grew up watching. I was like, I need to build this. Yeah, just some dumb crap, right?
Yeah. For those that don't know, discombobulators, it's a bunch of like teeter-totters that are joined together with rubber so that when you go down, the next one goes up, and you just kind of like get
Basically,
teeter-totter after teeter-totter.
basically really stupid. I love it. It's like OG short. I mean, that's what I grew up like worship. I worshipped all you dudes riding the shore. I was like, this is so cool.
Oh my God.
So
I love it.
yeah.
Well, do you have a name for what the event would be?
No, I haven't really thought about it yet. We're filming a video first. I start this Wednesday, so in 2 days.
On that track.
On that track, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll film the video, and then I'll have like throughout the winter to kind of plan what I want to do next year with the course.
If you need an announcer, I know a guy.
I got you.
Oh, wow. Well, so you're keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
You're riding lots. You're flying.
Yep.
Yourself around.
Yep.
And rocking and rolling on your giant bike. I like the paint job, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, that's
custom paint job.
Yeah, Dylan Forbes and Justin Dude, all the guys, Mitch Gulliver, like, you know, all the guys, the fresh paint dudes up in Whistler. Yeah, they
Fresh Paints of Whistler. Shout out.
Yeah, they did an insane job. I was just like, these are the colors I want, and then you just leave the art up to the artist. So yeah, they are pretty talented what they do.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're in a good place. You're having a good time.
Yeah, things are good. No Rampage for me this year, unfortunately.
There's only 15 riders this year.
Yeah, they cut 5 guys, so
It's too bad.
Yeah,
It's a 20th anniversary.
Yeah, I know.
Although they missed a few years, but 20 years ago it started.
20 for 20 would have been
Wade
dope.
Simmons won 2001, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I competed 2002, and then I was like a judge, and then I, mostly been on the microphone
For sure.
over the years,
Yeah.
doing interviews and stuff. But it's 20th anniversary. They're only having 15 riders, but I understand like not a lot of riders from Europe can get there. Like Andreo can't get into the States because he didn't get vaccinated.
Oh, man.
And so he's going to try and go through Chile to get in. And there might be a bunch of Europeans that can't get there.
Just get vaccinated.
Yeah, right?
Not that hard.
Yeah, I know. Get jabbed. I mean, you jump off cliffs. I think you can take a needle.
Yeah, I don't want to even get into that.
That's a different show. Yeah. That's a different show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but I mean, it's cool. Like, Brage got invited, which is dope.
Vestovic,
yeah.
Dude, did you see his video that he made for
Beast Mode
X Games?
I know, that was so sick.
And then his run at Hardline.
Yeah.
Rob Warner was like, I don't think there's going to be much course left after he's done with it. He's slamming turns.
I know. I feel bad for the earth every time he hits a bird.
Yeah, totally. I know. He's like, I feel sorry for his bike.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I felt like two dudes. It's like, I thought Jordy was like that. It's like Jordy, Brooke McDonald, and Brage. I'm like, oh, the poor earth every time they slam. Just such beasts.
Totally. Yeah, he's going to be in there as a wild card.
Yeah.
And Jackson Riddle.
Yeah, Jackson. He's been earning it. So I'm stoked to see what he can do.
Totally.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah. I would like to see some new riders in there as well. I wish they had 20 riders in there. Like Kate Edwards would be cool.
I know, it's tough, right?
It's Chaos Seagrave. A lot of people would like to see in there.
They only brought 2 new guys in this year. So I think they'll mix it up though. Like they took top 10 from 2019. My guess is they'll probably like scratch that and just like so they can bring more new guys in.
Yeah.
So
keep it fresh.
Exactly.
Keep it interesting. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to watch that. Wow. Well, nice to visit in your house here. I'm going to keep it short because I got to go catch the ferry.
Yeah, you got to run.
We're at 41 minutes. This will be our shortest podcast ever, but short and sweet.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
Yeah, totally. We have a little thing here where you got to tell a joke. The guest has to tell a joke. Can you tell us a joke?
Boy, I can't get one off memory, but I think I got one on my phone here.
Oh yeah. Good.
Okay. There's a bunch you want to tell, but you shouldn't tell.
I can tell you a joke, but you might just laugh.
What do you call when you're sick of being in the airport?
When you're sick of being in an airport? I don't know.
Terminal illness.
Nice.
Pretty bad.
That's all right. You're a pilot. You can tell that.
Yeah.
Give us another one. Give us another one. What else you got? What else you got?
Another one?
Another bad joke.
Okay. This one's not so much of a joke as it is more of a statement. Where was it? If you masturbate on a plane, do they charge you with hijacking?
It depends how long you wait, because masturbation is like procrastination. In the end, you're only screwing yourself.
Oh my god. Can't compete. Cannot compete.
Oh, awesome. Right on, brother.
Sick, man.
Right on. Well, nice to have a word here with Reece Wallace, not to be confused with Reece Wilson.
Oh god.
The last year's world champion.
World champ, yeah.
Yeah, world downhill champ.
Yeah.
You guys, some people are mixing you up online, and there's a joke now on Pink Bike.
I'll be chilling on I've been digging under the chairlift at Mount Washington, and everyone always screams at me like, "Good luck at World Champs." I'm just like, oh my god.
That's so funny.
For you.
Yeah, exactly, right. And they're probably screaming at him, "Do a flip!"
Yeah, straight up. It's all good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah.
Danny Hart says that anytime he goes under the lift or goes anywhere near anybody who's riding, people always yell, "Stay on your bike, Danny! Stay on your bike!"
Yeah.
From his famous 2011 run in Champery.
I mean, I'd probably yell that at him too. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's funny. Right on, man. One more time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we will talk to you next time.
Sounds good.
Reece Wallace, everybody. Ow!